Hello and welcome to Workers' Comp Unwrapped, the podcast that simplifies workers' compensation for physicians. So let's get started. Welcome back to the deep dive. We are kicking off Season 4, Episode 1 of Workers' Comp Unwrapped. I'm your host, and today we are tackling something that on the surface sounds incredibly dry. But it's actually, well, it's the stuff of nightmares for anyone trying to run a solvent business in 2026. We're talking about revenue leakage. I'm joined by our expert who has, 15 years in the trenches of workers' comp?
That's right. Great to be back. And you're spot on. Revenue leakage sounds like, I don't know, a plumbing problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's really an existential threat. We're not talking about small change. We're talking about the difference between staying open and closing your doors for good.
Right. And before everyone tunes out thinking this is just some, MBA buzzword salad, I want to frame it with this image. Imagine you run a bakery, you're up at 4 a.m., you bake the bread, you serve the customer, they hand you a $20 bill, but then on the way to the register, you rip a third of it off and throw it in the trash.
Ooh, that's a painful thing to even picture. It's visceral.
It is. But based on the data we're looking at for this deep dive, that is exactly what's happening to provider revenue right now. We're talking about money you earned, money you are owed. This is vanishing.
And the really scary part is that most providers don't even realize they're holding a shredded bill. They think, they've collected what they're owed. The math just says something totally different.
So our mission today is pretty simple. It's 2026. Things have changed fast. We're going to figure out why the system seems almost designed to make you fail at collecting your money, where that money is going, and most importantly, how to stop the bleeding.
And I want to start by just, validating something for everyone listening. If you feel like you are working harder than ever, more patients, more paperwork, more headaches, but the bank account is flat or even shrinking, if you're not going crazy, this leakage is the silent killer of practice profits. It happens in the background, quietly, every single day.
Okay, so let's get into it. What exactly do we mean by revenue leakage in the 2026 context? Because I feel like everyone thinks they know what losing money looks like. This is different.
It's very specific. And the danger with revenue leakage is that it's rarely one big catastrophic event.
It's not $1 million surgery you forgot to bill for.
Exactly. It's death by 1,000 cuts. It's dozens of small mistakes, oversights, or just frictions in the system that never, ever get fixed.
Can you walk us through the psychology of that? I mean, doctors, practice managers, there's smart people. How do they miss this?
It's the triage mindset.
Yeah.
Their focus is on the patient, and it should be. So let's say you bill $100 for a service. You get a check back for $85.
Okay.
You look at it and you think, they shorted me $15. Is it really worth my staff spending 40 minutes on the phone to fight over $15?
And in that moment, the answer always feels like, no, of course not. You've got a waiting room full of people who are actually hurt.
Precisely. You curse under your breath, maybe you roll your eyes, and you just move on. But in 2026, when you multiply that, it's just $15 attitude by thousands of claims.
Right.
Across a whole year, you are talking about a massive financial loss. You're basically agreeing to a discount you never, ever negotiated.
It's the accumulation of apathy. You let the little things slide, and pretty soon they bury you.
That's the perfect way to put it. And the sources for this deep dive, they give us a very specific hit list of the culprits driving this right now.
Okay, let's run through it. What are the main ways this money is just walking out the front door?
Number one is fee schedule underpayments. This is tricky because you get paid, so the claim looks closed in your system.
So no one looks at it again.
No one looks at it again.
Yeah.
But you were paid less than the legal state rate, and nobody caught it.
Okay, what's next?
Number two is incomplete or, just inaccurate billing submissions. This sounds boring, but in 2026, it's deadly. Number three, and this is huge lately, is missed or delayed lead-in filings.
Oof. The leads. We are definitely circling back to that one. The data there is it's wild.
Oh, yeah. Then you've got unresolved disputes around utilization review, UR, and independent medical review, IMR. And finally, the absolute silent killer. Just zero follow-up after an initial denial.
It's amazing. We live in this era of just, incredible medical advancement, robotics, imaging, but the financial side of the house is tripping over its own feet. Let's zoom in on that second point you made. Billing errors. Because that sounds like the most boring way imaginable to lose a fortune.
It is boring. That's what makes it so dangerous.
So what does that look like in practice? Is it just like typos?
Sometimes, yeah. But more often, it's about the minutia. It's getting lost in the weeds of the coding system. A huge one we see is modifiers.
Okay, unpack that. If you're listening who isn't also a certified coder, what's a modifier?
So a code tells the insurance company what you did. A modifier tells them the context in which you did it.
Yeah.
It tells the story of the visit. For example, maybe you did a separate evaluation on the same day as a procedure. You need a modifier to tell the system, hey, pay for both of these. They're distinct services, not one big bundle.
Okay, that makes sense.
The problem is if you use a modifier 25 when you should have used a 59, or vice versa, the computer on the other end just spits it out. Or maybe there's a coding mismatch.
Just a mismatch.
Yeah, where the diagnosis code doesn't perfectly align with the procedure code, at least in the eyes of the payer software.
And in the past, maybe a person would look at that and say, oh, I see what they meant, and just pay it.
Maybe 10 years ago. In 2026.
Yeah.
Not a chance. We're in the age of algorithmic adjudication. These small clerical errors don't get you a polite phone call anymore. No. They get you an automatic reduced payment or a total denial.
The computer says no, and that's the end of the story.
That's it. And here's the part that people always miss. The cost isn't just the money you didn't collect. There's a secondary cost that's actually, I think, worse. The cost of time. Every single time a claim gets kicked back, your whole revenue cycle just starves. Your staff has to stop what they're doing, pull the file, figure out what went wrong, rework the claim, file an appeal, sit on hold.
Like paying a tax on your own money just to get access to it.
That's exactly what it is. You are paying real labor costs to correct administrative errors. And this gets to a really controversial point about the market right now. You can be the best surgeon in the entire state. You could literally save a worker's ability to walk again. But if your back office messes up one modifier, the system says, sorry, no money for you.
That is a terrifying thought. It's like you have to run two totally different businesses under one roof. A medical business and a paperwork accuracy business.
You do, and you cannot survive in 2026 with just the first one. We see it all the time. Medical geniuses who are administrative paupers because they just can't navigate the bureaucracy.
Medical genius, administrative pauper. Wow. That's going to stick with me. Okay, let's shift gears to something that feels a bit more, I don't know, aggressive. We talked about billing errors, which feel like an oops. But let's talk about liens in the Workers' Comp Appeals Board, the WCAB. This part of the research felt less like a clerical error and more like strategic warfare.
Because it is adversarial, there's just no way around it. We all know the system is overburdened, but the data shows that in 2026, the backlogs are growing faster than ever. Lien hearings are just taking longer and longer to get scheduled.
And from the provider's side, that's just an annoyance. But from the insurer's perspective, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have to be realistic here. The payers, they know about the backlog. They know that if a case just sits there unresolved, the revenue sits unresolved. They are banking on one of two things: your exhaustion or your disorganization.
They're hoping you'll just give up.
Or that you'll just lose track. And this is a concept we really need to drive home. Delay is not neutral.
Delay is not neutral. What does that mean exactly?
In 2026, any delay actively reduces your recovery potential. The longer a case sits, the colder it gets. Evidence gets lost. The staff member who treated the patient quits. Deadlines expire. If a case falls through the cracks and sits for 2 years, the chance you'll collect the full value just drops off a cliff.
So time literally erodes the value of the money you're owed.
It does. If you aren't watching your lands like a hawk, if you don't have a structured management system and deadline tracking, you're basically giving the payer an interest-free loan that they might never pay back.
That brings up a phrase from the notes that really stood out. Litigation readiness. It sounds like you're preparing for war before you even send the first bill.
You have to be. You can't wait until a hearing is scheduled to get your ducks in a row. Litigation readiness means from day one, your file is organized as if a judge is going to look at it tomorrow.
Because if you have to scramble 3 years from now,
you've already lost. If you're scrambling to find a proof of service or a specific med report years later, it's too late.
Okay, this is a pretty grim picture. We've got holes in our pockets, the billing codes are a minefield, and the court system is backed up to oblivion. So let's pivot. How do we plug these holes? How are the providers who are actually winning surviving 2026?
It all comes down to a shift from being reactive to being proactive. And the tools for that are, well, data and systems. You have to stop working harder and start working smarter.
Work smarter, not harder. It's a cliche, but what does it actually look like in a workers' comp office?
It means using the data you already have to spot patterns. The providers who are plugging these leaks, they don't treat every denial like it's a unique, surprising event. They analyze them in aggregate.
So they're not just saying, oh, this claim got denied. They're asking, why do we keep getting denied by this specific company?
Exactly that. The successful providers, they know that, for instance, insurance company X habitually downcodes physical therapy, or they know that a specific combination of codes will always trigger a request for more records.
And if you know that's going to happen, you can change what you do up front.
Right. If you know a code always gets flagged, stop submitting it alone. Or be prepared. Attach the appeal letter and the supporting study with the original bill. Don't wait for them to ask.
That is playing offense.
It is. And you can't do that on sticky notes or some spreadsheet that one person updates once a month. It requires systemization. You need automated triggers. Yeah, every claim needs a roadmap. The moment the patient walks in, the system should say, we expect payment by day 45. If day 45 comes and goes and the balance is still there, a red flag goes up, an automatic task gets generated for your staff.
It takes the emotion out of it. You don't get frustrated. You just execute the plan.
Exactly. You start treating collections as a strategic business function, not just an administrative chore you get to when you have free time.
Let's make this concrete. There's a case study in the material that I thought was just perfect. It was a before and after. Can you walk us through it?
Sure. This is a classic example. There was a mid-sized provider group. They were doing excellent medical work, but they were just swamped. They'd submit their bills, they'd get some partial payments, some zeros. And because they were so busy, there was almost no follow-up. They just took whatever came in the mail.
And what was their collection rate, roughly?
They were collecting about 60% of what they were legally owed.
60%. If you get a 60% on a test, you failed. If you collect 60% of your revenue, you go out of business.
Correct. It wasn't sustainable. So a team came in to do a second pass audit on those same exact claims. The care was already done. The medical records were the same. They just applied a systematic review.
And they were looking for what?
All the leakage points we just talked about. They found every case where the fee schedule wasn't met. They identified missed LEDA's deadlines and filed them. They found claims where documentation was missing, and they just attached it.
And the result?
Substantial additional recovery. I mean, a really significant amount of money that was just sitting there, waiting to be claimed. And again, I have to stress this. They didn't do any more surgeries. They didn't see more patients. It was purely a process change.
That's the light bulb moment right there.
Yeah.
The money was already theirs. They just needed the key to unlock it.
That's it. And in 2026, that key is attention to detail.
So for the listener who is feeling a little overwhelmed right now, maybe they're looking at a stack of denials on their desk, let's give them a survival checklist. 5 things they can do, starting today, to stop the bleeding.
Okay, yeah. Grab a pen. Here's the 2026 survival guide. Number 1, accurate billing.
And what does that mean in practice?
It means making sure your billing is compliant and your coding is certified. No more guessing. If your staff is pretty sure that's the right code, you're gambling. You have to invest in certified coders or software that checks your work.
Got it. No guessing. Number 2.
Proactive follow-up. You have to chase every single underpayment and denial. Don't let the small ones slide. They add up to the big ones. The rule should be, no denial goes unchallenged.
Number 3.
Lien in management. Strong dispute management is absolutely non-negotiable. You need a real system to track those deadlines and push cases forward. Do not let them age out.
Okay, number 4 is about tools.
Yes. Technology. Use tech that speeds you up, not slows you down. If your software feels like it's from 1995, it's costing you money. Electronic filing, automated status checks, you need it all.
And the last one.
This is the big one. It's a mindset shift. You have to treat collections as a strategic function. It is a core part of your business, just as important as the clinical side.
I think that's the hardest hurdle, isn't it? Medical professionals, they want to be healers, not debt collectors.
They do, but the reality is if you don't collect, you can't keep the lights on to heal the next person.
Right.
It's not greedy to want to be paid for the work you performed. It's necessary. This leakage, it happens quietly, but it adds up so fast. And most of it is preventable. You don't have to accept 60%.
This has been incredibly eye-opening. A little scary, sure, but also empowering. Because the solution is actually in our hands. It's not magic, it's just mechanics.
It is. Time, accuracy, and follow-up. Those are the 3 pillars.
So my final thought for everyone listening is this. Protecting your revenue in 2026 isn't about doing more work. It isn't about seeing more patients until you completely burn out. It's about doing the paperwork right. It's about stopping the leak in the bucket before you try to fill it with more water.
Couldn't have said it better.
Make sure you check out the show notes. We've linked to some resources and reporting tools that can help you audit your own practice. Stay compliant, stay proactive, and please stop lighting your earned money on fire.
And get those liens filed.
Thanks for listening to Workers' Comp Unwrapped. If you found value in today's episode, subscribe and share with fellow doctors. Stay informed and keep making a difference in your patients' care.